Hey guys, it's Chuck again. Today we want to answer the following questions. How can we remember build orders and why do we struggle remembering them? How can I approach a new build order or strategy better? And last but not least, what are investments? How do I properly invest and how can I understand what I'm investing in or what I'm building? Alright guys, the first question we want to answer right now was how do we learn new build orders and why do we struggle remembering those? Well, first of all, I'm gonna just tell you how I started out trying to learn build orders when I was in Bronze League back in the days, or even in Silver Gold. I did it all the way until I eventually realized that it's not the best way to do it this way. So the way I did it is just I took some build order from the internet. For example, we have just a structure where you have like the supply caps given, and then you have, okay, first of all we're gonna build a pylon, gonna build a gateway afterwards, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And well, then I tried to really write that down on paper and try to just remember, but I never actually thought about why the things that are written down happened and why they happened at a certain supply count and stuff like that. And also, if I, for example, watched Day 9 TV, what always was something that I didn't like about Day 9 TV back in the days, because I didn't understand it, was that he never gave you a build order. He just talks about strategy, which is obviously a lot better actually, because you don't really need supply counts. But at that time I was basically thinking that supply counts was essential to get a build order done. And so I always had this supply cap, the supply count, for example, if you have like 27 and then you have a gateway or something. So I remember using the supply counts, which actually for me now, it just turns out to be wrong in the end. It's not quite, not exactly wrong, but it's, if you just remember with the supply counts, we're gonna get a lot of problems with that. So this is the second part of the question actually, why do we struggle to remember those? Actually wouldn't be a problem if we just always stick to the supply counts and stuff. But what's a problem is if the situation gets complicated and it's not like normal every single time, and you just have your supply counts in the head, and then you, for example, you scout something weird, and then you start a thing, and then you still build probes, and then you overbuild like one probe, and you didn't build the exact building at that time where you have like 13 supply, for example. You want to build a gateway because your build order says it, but now you're at 14 supply, and you always said, okay, 13 is done, so you forget stuff. Everything gets kind of messed up. You lose track of a lot of things if you only try to remember things out of the supply counts and what your actual build order says, rather than going behind the build. So that's why we're gonna go into the next question right away, because we're gonna have a solution for this. Alright guys, I prepared a quick example for you on how you can actually use the tips I gave you. We're gonna do that on the example of a 4-gate. I don't really like the 4-gate that much, but it's just a good example because a lot of things are kind of different compared to the normal openers of Protoss. For example, in PvT and PvP, that's kind of comparable, as it starts out with a gateway and stuff like that. Again, circuits oftentimes, for example, Nexus First, the Forge Expand or something, you can also open with a gateway, but in the current metagame it's mostly a Forge opener. Right, so we're gonna go into the 4-gate. I want to make that as quick as possible now. I said that we have 3 different options, and the first pylon we have in our build order, again, I'm gonna just read down so you can, if you can read it, it's 9 pylon, 12 gateway, 14 gas, 16 pylon, 17 core, 18 zealot, and 20 stalker. So I'm just gonna go through this list and I'm gonna explain how I approach a build order. So the first thing I want to know is the standard skeleton for a build order, for a Buildorders build order. If it's not a Circ build order where it starts with a fast expander or something else, it's normally a 9 pylon, some gateway, 14 gas, 16 pylon, 17 core, something else, right? All right, so this is something. Again, we have three different options. We want to understand them, the things we do. We want to have some of them are crucial things that we just need to remember or learn by heart, and we have the related timing things. The 9 pylon is just something that you have to remember. It's just the perfect pylon time where you have like 9 supply, you build your probes, and then you have like, okay, get the pylon at 100 minerals and chrono boost into the next probe. Just easy as that. So we just have to remember the 9 pylon. There's nothing to explain about it. The 12 gateway. So this is a little bit of a variation. Most of you who know build orders in PvP, for example, they will, or in PvT as well, they will know that a 13 gateway is pretty much so standard. That's just because all these supply caps here are basically related to building probes always. And that basically means if we build probes always and we never ever cut anything out, then this what stands here is the supply caps where we build probes, and as soon as we build probes continuously, and as soon as we have the money for this that we want to build, then we get it down. And that's just basically a list of when we have this stuff, when we have the money for it. So a good example would be the first pylon. It's just build probes. As soon as we have 100 minerals, get the pylon. Easy as that. Get the pylon right away at 9 supply, and we almost and it finishes perfectly, so we can chrono boost into the next probes. Why is the 13 gateway so standard and not the 12 gateway like we have it here? Well, basically 13 gateway, we build probes always, and this is like just the moment where we have the money for it, get it. Alright, so why is the 12th gateway? How can I remember the 12th gateway here, and why is it a 12th gateway? Well, actually we just cut probes slightly. You want to remember, actually, as a startup player at least, that you always want to build probes. Building probes is like the most important thing, building workers in general. But in this example, we have a 12th gateway. So we have to understand why. We cut probes slightly, and why do we do that? Okay, we cut probes, we cut economy slightly in favor of an earlier gateway. So how can I remember that I get my gateway at 12 now and not at 13 like I'm used to it? Or is it even something that is important? Yes, it is important, because related to the core, the gateway gives us the opportunity to get the core. And what is so important about this build is we get a good timing out with our warp gate tech. Warp gate tech is possible when we have a core, and core is possible when we have a gateway. So we cut economy just slightly to get an earlier core down, and that's just because that's just why we need that earlier gateway. And also this earlier gateway and earlier core eventually gives us an earlier seller and stalker. So that's why the 12th gateway. Just try to ask yourself, why do I do this stuff? So you can remember, and you don't have to like learn by heart and then you forget it in the game because you don't really know if it's that important or whatever. Just do it like this. 14 gas is something I would also call crucial to learn by heart. It's not anything that I can explain right now. It's just the gas just it's just you don't have too much gas, you don't have too few gas, and it's actually just the moment where you have enough money to get a gas up while building probes and not cutting economy. There are some builds, of course, where gas varies, but that's just something special. For example, if you have like a double 17 gas, you can of course start to think about gas timing. Where I would do that is, for example, when I play Phoenix builds, when I play DT builds in PvP, which I never do, but if I would, then I would already go ahead and say, okay, why do I get the gas after the salad, and why don't I get it before the salad, and why don't I get it after the salad like I normally do it with, for example, robo timing. Sorry, not robo timing, but just a robo plate. Well, easy as that, it's just because we need more gas for the tech. So try to remember the 14 gas is the best thing. If it's a little bit awkward gas timings, then you can start to explain it yourself. 16 pounds, something to remember, just crucial. Just a small part I would learn by heart. It kind of depends on the build as well. It can go, for example, for a 17 pound or something, but I would just go with the 16 pound for now. If it's really something special, then you can also go for a 17 pound, but in most cases it's not like really something important or something. It's just you don't get supply, but you have the money for it to get a pound. 17 core. Now this is a good example of a relative timing I use. I used to go 17 core when it was from maybe Pros to Gold League or something. I was always going 17 core. I just remembered it as being 17 core. What would happen is if the situation got complex and everything got a little out of the normal, like for example I scout something awkward or something, I would build probes and whatever, or even forget to build probes, and then I think, okay, I'm at 18 supply now. I don't need no core now, because I need to build the salad. Like, I didn't actually think that I forgot the core, that's what I mean. I didn't think like, okay, I have no core, I'm at 18 supply, so I don't need one. That's bullshit. What I rather thought is I already have done the core, because I was done with the 17 supply mark. And that's the big thing you get a problem with. If you work with the supply only, then you start to forget things once you're done with a certain supply. So what you want to do in general is just, if you can do it, get relative timings. Use relative timings. If you know that you want your core as soon as possible, and this is basically every single time you play, you want to get your core as soon as possible. There's like 1 or 2 builds out on the internet that delay the core for, I don't know if that was adults glade gas or something. I played this one time and then I got forgotten and I just lost. Of course there are builds that are it just doesn't work as good. So what we do is we get the core as soon as possible, right? And when is that? Again, it's related to the gateway, so as soon as the gateway is done, we get the core. Do it like that. Don't use the 17 supply mark. If you overbuild a probe or something, you're totally out of the way and then you forget everything. So use the related timings as soon as you can. Here we have a perfect example of when we can get a core is when the gateway is done, and then we orientate ourselves at the gateway. So we say, okay, gateway is done, core. We don't say 17 supply core, because that can give you a little bit of problems. Sorry for the cut, I was quickly taking a break. So we were at finishing the course, so we have that. So now the question is, what the salad, what the heck? Why do we get an 18 salad and how can we explain that? Well, actually, it's pretty easy. We got the gateway and we got the stuff earlier a little bit. So 18 is just the moment where we have the 100 minerals possible. Only unit we can build is the salad at that point in time. It's basically always the first unit you build. We have some circumstances in PvT, for example, where we can cut out the salad for an earlier expand and only get the stacraft, for example, but we don't want to go into this right now. Right now we just want to think about why we get the salad here. Again, earlier gateway, earlier core gives an earlier 100 minerals at 18. Alright? Or I shouldn't say earlier minerals, it's rather an earlier possibility to get the salad, alright? Because the gateway is earlier. And so why, now the question is, how can I remember why I do that, why I get the salad as early? Just because we want to establish map control as soon as possible. We want to go over to our opponent's side of the map. The map has a lot of room to it, so if our opponent is right across to us, for example, we have a lot of it still takes a lot of time to walk over there, so that's why we need an earlier salad. It's really good to get an earlier salad to actually rush there, rush to his watchtower, get some map control up. Same with the stalker. Stalker comes right away after the salad. Again, related timings. It's related to A, salad done, and B, core done, because core done is basically the the requirement for a stalker. You need a core for a salad for a stalker. Right, so solid stalker, quick on the map, get the map control up, get the proxy panel up. So it's just a little bit earlier because you need map control a little quicker to get over to your opponent. So thanks guys, that's the example. We're gonna go into the next question now. Alright ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the first part of the build order stuff, and now I want to get into a very exciting topic that I realized when I was maybe in Diamond League or something. It's really important to know and to understand about it. This is basically just the investments. Right here I wrote it down. Examples, I'm gonna go into an example of how I change up on investments, and I want to give you an opportunity to start understanding investments in the game. So now, a lot of you may have just asked themselves what I mean exactly by investments. Well, in StarCraft 2, everything is about investments basically. You build something, and this is basically an investment. You build a unit, it's an investment. You build a gateway, it's an investment. So that's basically what I mean by investments. And I'm rather talking about how to understand what I'm investing in, because that's a really big part of StarCraft, I guess. It's like maybe even the most important thing to understand it all. And that's basically how I also approach build orders, is by understanding an investment and by understanding why this is earlier, why this is later, why do I need this investment at a certain time. That's really some crucial, some of the crucial things you want to start to understand. Alright ladies and gents, here we have a game by me. I'm playing against some guy, I don't know. What is gonna happen is I was opting for 4-gate. You see, I didn't spend too much chrono here. I'm not gonna spend too much at the moment. I went for a 12-gate again. 12-gate, we explained that before. Get the core as soon as the gateway is down. Get the zealot rally over to his watchtower to get map control up. Just stuff like this. Pretty basic stuff for now. You wouldn't really think about, whoops, there was something crucial. You wouldn't really think about anything special right now. What is important now is I'm gonna get this out again. I'm going for a 4-gate now, and what is gonna happen is really a good example for that I can build up my explanation on. So here we have a core almost finished. Same with my core, almost finished, but my core is a little bit later. So what do I know? Related to my core timing, I see his core was earlier. So I know, okay, he gets an early core. So he probably tries to get an earlier warp gate tag, which basically is the only thing that really makes sense. And then he tries to get aggressive with it. So also the chrono boost tells me, okay, this is really has a huge potential to be a 4-gate. I don't see no second guess. Chrono on the gate core, so I'm almost like 100% certain this is some kind of 3-gate, 4-gate, whatever. What I do now is, again, I was going for a 4-gate. Now the question is, do I want a 4-gate against 4-gate, or do I want to go tech and get a gas up and stuff like that? So I hate 4-gate against 4-gate, and I know that if I go the tech route now and I'm defending with minimal losses, then I'm way ahead and I can just win the game. It's a different story if I 4-gate against a 4-gate. It's kind of, yeah, you kind of ahead after that, but not that far. So here we go. I'm taking my second gas. Gas just for sentries. And I don't have a build order for this. This is just understanding of the game. Why the pylon now? Because I'm supply blocked after I built another stalker. Then I'm 26. So that's just the thing behind it. I want to build probes, I don't want to get supply blocked. So here we go, supply block is fixed. You see that? Now this is the thing that I want to show you in the first place, is I get another gateway up. Normally what I would do is, I would chrono this core, I would get 3 gateways up to be the aggressive player, to be the 4-gater, and then I have 4 gateways worth of production. Alright, here I just added 1 gateway because I know he's gonna be the aggressor, and I wanna be the defender. I wanna add more production here to be able to kill the proxy pylon, to be able to hold the ramp and stuff like that. You're gonna see another gateway coming up soon. Because 3 gateways is the perfect count to deal with a 4-gate. So why is 3 gates the perfect count? Again, we just want to find the middle line between under-investing and being able to hold the current situation. So at the moment I know I'm in a defensive state, so I have to add more gateways defensively, and that's just why I have the 3 gateways. Using my first few units out aggressively on the map, cleaning the stalker, it's pretty good for me, cleaning the zealot. And now, due to all this aggressiveness out of the map, that was possible because I had more gateways up, so I had more unit production. I'm finally able to also deny his proxy power here, which is basically almost GG. Now, another part of the investments was this sentry. The sentry is the most important thing, in my opinion, to hold a 4-gate, because you can hold the ramp with it. You can never ever rely on being able to kill the proxy pylon. Normally, that's what I do. I get a proxy pylon up safe, and then I get another one risky, like at the ramp or something, and you use my units to get that up. Now, he would just clean your units, or you would be forced to retreat if he warps in on the map. Now, the sentry, again, being able to force fill the ramp, 15 seconds of holding. I don't warp in additional sentries. Of course, that would make me be in a very much so safer situation, because I had more sentries to be able to hold the ramp. But if it's enough to have 1 sentry, I want to go with 1 sentry, because more sentries are not going to help me that much later on. So I'm basically just getting 1 sentry, and as soon as I need more, I always have at least 1 gate idle against the 4-gate to be able to get enough sentries up with the gas I have. Then I'm just gonna warp in another one, have 15 seconds left, and then I have a cooldown of 19 again to warp in another one. It's basically impossible to fail if you just get 1 sentry and leave some gates on idle. So that's just what I wanna emphasize here. Getting minimal things to be able to hold is and investing into the future. And this robotics is basically another of these future investment decisions, because as soon as I invested into those gateways, and as soon as I feel safe, I get the future investment, which is actually the robo. So I go over to the next step, I tech up. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry. Every single cut that you saw in the last few minutes I was being disturbed. So here we go, back again. So we have these 3 gateways used defensively, and we tech up with this robotics. Once we feel safe, again, we invest into the future. Or we invest in, if we feel safe, into the current situation, but then we have to go aggressive mode. Alright, so what I know now is, upon having held a 4-gate, or this sort of aggressive play, I know he can only go for an expand and a second gas, because everything else is just, I have the tech advantage and I can kill him, so he's got to take a risk. So I can either get another future investment up, get the Nexus. I know I have the quicker robo, I traded a little bit better, and I'm probably gonna kill him later on. But what I can also do is punish his current situation, his defensive, his weakened defenses. I can punish those, and I can also punish his use of a risk right now. So what I do is, I know that I invested into those 3 gateways. So why, if I didn't really use them defensively, other than killing some of his units, can I use them offensively? So I get this robotics bay down, It's actually what I almost always do against the 4 gate. Once I held it, then I just go into aggressive mode. To break force fields is the Colossi. Now, what is gonna be important is I'm gonna get Colossi, and as soon as I have like enough minerals and get the Colossi and everything up I want, I get another gateway up. Why is that? Well, actually, again, more gateways, either you're really scared and you want to defend with more because you don't feel as comfortable without with these few gateways to be able to defend, or you want to have more gateways to be aggressive, to have more production than your opponent. So in this case, I want to add another gateway to be able to put some aggression on my opponent and even kill him in this case, because I know he's expanding. If he didn't expand, I would even still kill him with my tech advantage. So you see me walking up the ramp, nothing special to say, do some micro shenanigans, force field, whatever. He can't break my force field, I have to kill him, and I'm just gonna kill him. So, yes, let's get that up. Alright, so guys, we just looked at an example where I just changed my plan and where I thought about my investments, where I went another road that I actually had planned, just because investments are related to what happens in the game. To sum everything up, you want to invest when you have to, invest into your current situation, you want to invest into your current situation, thus meaning being safe at the moment, for example, more gateways, more units, more whatever, more sentries and stuff. If you want to be better up in the future, if you want to win the game like later on, if you feel safe, if you don't really want to get a lot of aggression out, then you go into investing into the future. You want to expand, you want to tech, and you don't want to go overboard with safety gateways and stuff like that. And the third thing is being aggressive yourself, is more gateways, more unit production facilities to get the critical mass of gateways, for example. But the thing is, you can only support those a certain in a certain time window of oftentimes. For example, if I go for a 4 gate, I don't have the money to support them all the way always. So I reached that point where the investment at the moment for the count of gateways or something is too high to be able to support them all the way. So thanks guys for watching. I think that's all. I really hope that this new episode of the investment in Buildorders has a little bit more structure and gives you a little bit more the opportunity to get the information you want. Other than that, I would really recommend you to just send me an email, send me a PN on Facebook, on YouTube or Twitch, whatever. Please follow my stream as well on Twitch. That would be really awesome. If you just tuned in, I'm gonna be streaming a lot, and yeah, I guess just thanks guys, and I hope you really it's